Hi, I'm Mark Davidson. The previous video in this series looked at the 3 life alignment aspects of living well, at building an authentic sense of purpose, becoming strategic, and getting organised, and at how they can work together to give a person control over the big picture of their life. But big picture alignment is only one element of what it takes to live well. It provides the background clarity for life well lived, but there's also life's foreground. To fully live well, a person has to handle the moment-to-moment reality well too. And there's 2 ways coaching can help them with this. It can investigate how a coachee can keep themselves oriented enough to make insight-led choices of what to do next and how to go about what they choose to do. And it can investigate how they perform once they've launched themselves into the doing. Nobody is always fully oriented within the actuality of the moment. It's easy not to notice important aspects of the environment we're in and to therefore act inappropriately or miss opportunities. People often spend time busily doing things that make little sense given what's actually going on round about them. And they often get so caught up in what they're doing that they don't notice that they're no longer making good use of their time. It's common to avoid activities that would be constructive but uncomfortable, and to overindulge in the activities that are all too comfortable. And people often rush straight into the doing of an activity, when if they just paused briefly to prepare themselves, things would work out much better. All these problems can be overcome through building effective orientation habits. And the concept of the action cycle can make it easier to understand what orientation habits means. As we go through life, we engage in one activity, then another, then another. Most of the time, our attention is on the main thing that we're doing, when we're not distracted, that is. When the activity comes to an end, our attention then goes to choosing what to do next, and there are 3 parts to an effective choosing process. There's an aware part. People can build habits of regularly waking up to the reality of the moment. If they do, they'll notice more of the opportunities that suddenly appear, and more often notice when what they're doing is no longer making good use of their time. There's a care part. People can build habits of making choices of what to do next that connect them with what they most care about. If they do, they'll do more of the things that are worth doing but uncomfortable, and less of the things that are chosen for them by their cravings. And there's a prepare part. Coachees can build up habits of taking the time where performing well matters to get ready to perform at their best rather than just rushing in. Coaching can also, of course, help with the performance itself. The historical roots of all today's business and life coaching are in Tim Galway's approach to helping people with sports like tennis. And one of the best ways to think about coaching performance is still his distinction between outer and inner games. Outer games are how a person needs to apply their skills and abilities to succeed in a challenge. It's what needs to happen, not in their mind, but out in the world. A good coach can help the coachee identify the abilities they'd most benefit from building and then work with them to develop and stick to learning plans. The core principles of skill building apply in any domain. The inner game takes place in people's minds. Its aim is to overcome obstacles such as self-doubt and inattention so that the person can perform to the limits of their abilities in their outer games. The optimum state for both learning and performing is flow, which is when a person feels completely immersed in what they're doing. Good performance coaches understand the factors that facilitate flow. They can help coaches discover how to play their inner games more successfully and therefore perform better and learn more easily. It's a truism that life happens in the moment. Actions can only create value during the moments when the action takes place. The actions can have extrinsic value through making good things happen. They can help a person realize an ambition and arrive at a high-value, desirable future. And actions can have intrinsic value through being worth choosing for their own sake. The actions can be beautiful or provide value through the pleasure of the doing itself. It is a person's orientation and performance in the moment that determines how they actually bring value into the world. It's their orientation and performance in the moment that determines how their life stories progress as they move from one scene of their life to the next. All that we are depends on how we handle life in the moment. So some of the most helpful coaching is the coaching that investigates the way the coachee handles the foreground of their life. The foreground that is always there, right in front of them.